Thanks for joining. If it's okay with you, we are going to be recording the session. Okay. Great. Well, let's give 2 minutes maybe so we can let people in. And maybe, yeah, you let me know, maybe Paloma, when we can start. We have a good number of registered people, so that's good news. We're going to have a nice engagement today. Welcome, everybody.
I think we can start, Mariana, whenever.
Great. Everybody's there. Great. Perfect. So thank you so much for joining these Pathways to Resilience Innovation Practice Groups on Knowledge and Data. This is our second IPG, the second week. So yeah, let me know if you see my screen, because I'm going to be, yeah, great. I'm going to be sharing some technical considerations. So please keep your microphones muted when not speaking. And of course, unmute to contribute. So please check your audio levels. Also turn on your camera. We would love to see you today. And for engagement, please, you can raise your hand and also use the chat for comments or questions, or you can also use the reactions in Zoom. And please rename yourself. We would like to see who is in the room and where are you coming from. So please add next to your name the region or the organization where you're joining us today. So I want to share with you today's agenda. We will do a quick check-in first so we can know better each of us here, where are we coming from, and yeah, we have what kind of climate stakeholders with us today. Then we will do a quick introduction to refresh us a bit what the IPGs are. And today we will have the pleasure to learn from the Selenice region. So we have with us Francesca Corace, who's going to be sharing their experience. And then we will have a moment, a plenary discussion and a peer learning discussion where we can engage and ask questions and share your own experiences so we can learn from each other. And then a quick survey and next steps. So now I will give the floor to my colleague Anka, so we can do a quick checking question so we know better who's with us today. So Anka, yeah, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariana. Good morning, everyone. Great to have you here. Let's do a quick checking and icebreaker. For those of you who have joined the previous IPGs, you know the drill. So basically, I have 3 questions for you. I will give you 30 seconds to a minute to answer each question. I'd like you to put the answer in the chat, but not press enter until you hear my command. So first question, what is your name and where are you joining from? So just to see who we have in the room. Classic. So I'll give you 30 seconds for this one. So just type it in. And in a few seconds, I'll ask everyone to paste so we can see.
We have Bohara from Municipality Arilje, Municipality of Serbia. Great.
Bojana from Arilje. And then we have Vesna as well from Belgrade. Oscar from Vienna. Then we have Hakan from Turkey. Melissa. We have Aurora joining us from Milan. We have Nov Afghani from Germany. Christina from Greece. Clara from Spain. Stepan from Czechia. Then we have Vesna from Arilje. Holly from London. Paul from Romania. Stasha from Slovenia. Bianca from Romania. And Angeliki joining from Western Greece. And we also have Katerina joining us from the organization Deltares, and Christina from the region of Western Greece. And Natasha from Arilje. Okay, great. A lot of European countries here. Should we go to the next question, Mariana? So for this question, I'd like you to tell me the weather today outside, is it typical for this time of year? Is there something different according to what is usual? And if it's different, how it's different? Again, I'll give you around 30 seconds to answer this. For me, it's hotter than it should be. And it was cold 2 weeks ago. Typical early
Maybe
June day in Malaga. Yes, typical for June, hot and sunny. I would say typical, more storms than usual. It is typical 33 degrees. That's very hot. Typical. So the weather in Spain is the same like in Albania. Hot day, raining, yes, typical for the UK. Okay, yes. But so in Milan, today is typical, but previously it was hotter than usual. For the Netherlands, it's hot. No, it is hotter than usual. I resonate with Bojana. We're in Serbia together. Okay, so we can see some countries have it normal. For some, it's not normal, it's too hot. Thank you. Should we pass to the next question?
yeah.
So for this one, I'd like you to be a bit creative. So I'd like you to think if data was a mode of transport, what would it be? So would it be a bicycle, a car, a train, a plane, a boat, and why? Why would it be this mode of transport? Again, I'll give you a bit of time and then you can start pasting in the chat. And here on the screen, you can also see a cartoon that was made as part of the deep dive sessions we have on knowledge and data. Train, cargo ship because it's huge. I like that. Submarine, car, boats because of their different sizes and types. I like that, Oscar. Thank you. Do we have any more ideas? Skates. Oh,
That's
That's great.
original.
yeah. It would be a plane for a better view from above. I like that logic, Aurora. Do spaceships count? I think they count. They are a mode of transport. A plane, super fast if used well, but one needs to know how to handle. I really like that answer. Bicycle, because you always have to ride to get them. Are necessary for development, as it is bicycle for health. Thank you, Nancy. Okay, we had some creative answers here. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Anka, and thank you, everybody. It's nice to see that we have a lot of people engaging from many different regions and countries around Europe. So yeah, on the sake of time, let's start maybe with this innovation practice group of today. I would like to first remind you a bit of what are these innovation practice groups that we are organizing within the Pathways to Resilience project. Pretty much the aim is to organize these learning and knowledge sharing groups guided by the regional challenges and needs. You know that right now we are working with 39 Pathways to Resilience regions, and we are helping them and supporting in the planning of their adaptation and strategic plans. So the key objective here is to connect regions with sources of knowledge and expertise, and also to create communities of innovation, adaptation practitioners around Europe, and also to provide additional knowledge exchange opportunities. That's why these groups are open, and that's why we are also inviting climate stakeholders all around Europe so we can learn from each other. So in these kind of IPGs or events, What we are going to be doing is showcasing best practices from the regions, also exchanging knowledge and on enabling conditions, and also on key community systems. In this case, we are going to be talking about knowledge and data, but as you can see this week, we organized IPGs around different topics and issues. And then, yeah, the idea is to initiate discussions so we can think and brainstorm around adaptation plans and new ideas, and gain a wider view of what are the regional challenges and how to address them. So where we are now in the IPG's timeline, as we mentioned before, this is the second week. Maybe some of you already had the chance to participate in the first IPG week that we held in March. And then we're going to have a third IPG's week coming soon. We will let you know then when this is going to be taking place. And the idea here, as I mentioned, is to feature these regional experiences and foster peer learning. So I hope you enjoy today's presentation and engage after in the plenary discussion. So yeah, as we did also in the first IPG's week, we are going to be using the Miro board. This is our tool, so where we can do our brainstorming. Then I'm going to be sharing with you the instructions on how to use it today. So you can add there your comments, your questions, suggestions, or even your experiences, and then discuss around that. So what's today's IPG session about? I have the pleasure to introduce you to Francesca Coranche. She's the founder and executive director on Build Green Group in Selenice region, Albania. The Selenice region is part of the first cohort of the Pathways to Resilience regions. So Francesca is the founder and executive director of the Building Green Group, and she's currently serves as a technical lead and advisor on climate resilience development strategies for municipalities in Albania. So Francesca, are you around? Thanks for...
It's very strange to listen when somebody's presenting you. Thank you for the presentation.
No, please, thank you. And yes, we will be hearing from you, so I will give you the floor, and so we can learn more about how the Selenice region is advancing climate resilience. So yeah, happy to have you with us today.
I'm happy to be here too. I think this, let's say, community of practices are very important, because you sometimes work with the people you have, with the group you have, but you do need some other perspective from people or regions or, I don't know, organizations who have gone through it, who have some kind of experience that can make your work easier until the end of the day. I'm sorry we didn't make it in the first cohort of the community of practice, but I'm glad that we are here now. I will share with you some of the work we are doing with Selenice region. Selenice is part of Albania. It's a municipality which has more than 90% of its, let's say, territory based on agricultural or, let's say, rural area, less than urban areas. Therefore, our presentation today will be basically on highlighting some keynotes of what we found and where we think our strategy and pathways to a strategy, a climate resilience strategy, will go forward. So we will talk about vision, just a little bit, the systemic enablers we have thought that in this municipality will work out, and the participatory architecture, which I must say is one of the most hardest, since it's very, very hard to make people get together and talk about climate. It's not something you can touch, but it's something that eventually will get upon you. And some early lessons, let's say, in field observation. We are now finalizing the baseline research on climate on Selenice, and will very soon also develop and finalize the resilience strategy. So this is the perfect moment to share some insights and what we have been working until now. We can go to the next slide. So framing the challenge, what did we find through our first analysis on climate, baseline climate research? As we anticipated also in the project proposal, Selenica, since its territory, as I said, is mostly a rural area, will be focusing on agriculture. Most of its economy is agriculture and livestock. So it has a high dependence on climate vulnerable agriculture, let's say. Next is the energy consumption. It does not have, as I said, many urban areas, but these urban areas are mostly very old infrastructure. They are building mostly from the 90s or before the 90s. So these old infrastructures needs double the energy to use, and with rising climate and temperatures, all these, let's say, buildings will need more and will use more energy. And therefore, since Selenica did not have any data based on the building, we started to map the building in Selenica and started to, within this map, within this, let's say, data, also input data on the materials, on the energy consumption, and everything that could help us, let's say, make some projections on how we can, at least for public buildings, lower this energy consumption. The other pillar, which from the climate baseline research was seen as, let's say, emergent to be tackled, was water usage. From two perspectives. First, because from our research, we saw that 20 to 25% lower water resources, lowering water resources, and therefore the usage in, let's say, in agriculture was 50 to 60% only because of, let's say, because it's not based on data and not based on the right infrastructure needed to make the efficiency use of water. Other two sectors that we think and we saw that may be important is youth and let's say igniting youth to come back and to make these participatory activities where they can share input and they can share their thoughts, which we think that can ignite a little bit also the employment rates, which are lowering, and the people going out of Selenica. So these are more or less the 5 groups of very key important aspects that we found that needs a good resilience strategy in this municipality. Summers are getting hotter, it's 39 degrees and above. Most importantly, I'd like to say that in terms of water, there are more than 180 meter cubes per hectare being used. And the efficiency is only to 35 to 40%, so it's very, very low. However, as I said, the reduction is to 20 to 25%. So what is the vision? The vision is, in order to increase the efficiency of water usage, is to make a plan or make a projections on the efficient irrigations on these lands that are actually watering or arable lands. All public buildings. This is, of course, a vision. we will build the strategy, and hopefully we will get in the next plans on how to finance it. At least the public buildings have a net zero energy status, or at least have a plan on how to get there. And through igniting a bit agriculture and the way that agriculture can work in Selenica, help somehow the employment and increase of youth not going away, or at least working in main cities but coming back and living in Selenica. So in terms of the vision, we also emphasize that this vision will be only helped through the creation of, let's say, a department within the Selenica municipality. The climate department within it, with a hydrologist profile expert, which is, we saw that is very, very needed in increasing the water efficiency and, let's say, understanding and keeping up with the resilience strategy of Selenica. So this is very needed. We also made the projection on how much it would cost, but we do think that this would help the municipality very much through its vision 2030. And in terms of community, we think community-led innovation and let's say this community of practice, the same as here, but doing it with youth in the municipality, within the municipality, can ignite somehow these green jobs and can make the people a bit come back. Next slide, please. So the first strategic pathways is water and energy smart agriculture, digital water budgeting with real-time data integration. We have had a very hard time with gathering data. Srebrenica is not a municipality that you can say, okay, I can go there, I can get the data. That is quite impossible. So we had to build from scratch a way that we can gather data free, open, and usable, and also in some systems like the energy efficiency and buildings, start to create it from scratch. Thinking about solar-powered micro-irrigation system to increase the efficiency from 30% more, and at least 50% of water saving with this resilience strategy activization, let's say. And establishment of regenerative input hubs. This would ignite, as I said before, a bit of youth-led community. Hopefully, also in terms of energy, with savings in the municipality. Next. And the strategic pathway 2 would be the net zero public infrastructure. Of course, this is a bit forward thinking, but at least for public, let's say, institution, deep retrofit packages can help a lot. And the focus on school, municipal offices, and health centers would be the primary idea to focus on. And the use, of course, locally sourced biomass, because its economy is based on agriculture, and most of its, let's say, waste is green, so it can basically be used in terms of energy efficiency. And we would see at least a 50% of energy cost savings also for these buildings. Next slide. Of course, as I said, we see creation of a department within the municipality to handle, gather, and of course, keep up with the strategy as very important for Srebrenica. But this can be hard with the economy of municipality of Srebrenica. It's a very small municipality. It doesn't have many resources. So this would have to be at least primarily based on funding new grants or simplified ESCO contracting. So it has to be something coming from outside that can help the municipality get these structures slowly, but going there in place. Public access to agri-climate data and sensor streams would be also a projection, or at least the open data we can start together and do a data set that the municipality can then update and take into care. And of course, targeted technical support. We think that Srebrenica needs a lot of capacity raising for its staff, but this would need time, as I said, it's a small municipality, is doing a lot of work, and at least with this type of initiatives can start to increase its capacity building. What is also important, I would like to share, is that we are envisioning a bit these town hall visioning days, where we gather together people in Srebrenica and outside of Srebrenica, at least in Flor. This is a small architecture that can help increase what is doing and what is happening, and make Srebrenica a bit a small hub of these new innovations in agriculture and water. It may be a bit too ambitious, but still I think that helping and getting together the community can help a lot of things move forward. We are planning this for the next year, of course, after we have some data, some resilience strategy, after we talk with all actors and we are a bit on board on anything else. But I think this small architecture can actually help people, ideas, businesses come there and use it as a hub for these new solutions in agriculture, water, and other sectors such as energy efficiency. So this is more or less. Some lessons and early outcomes is that, of course, local ownership is high and is very important when it comes to co-designing. You can come and we collaborate very well with the municipality of Srebrenica, but it's still hard for them to grasp what we are talking about until they don't touch it. So local ownership coming from them, yes, we raise their capacities, but they understand it and their initiatives are somehow also coming from them, is very important. Digital tool must be accessible as well as the open data. And coming back to the thematic of this community of practice, data and knowledge is the power to make the right decisions and to actually bring forward the resilience strategy of Salonita. The solution has to be scalable, of course, and co-designed with the municipality, and the institutional learning is key to sustain not only the momentum, but actually taking into practice this time and this resilience strategy that we have envisioned. This is it from my side, short and to the point. For every question, please do not hesitate, and I look forward at discussing what was your experiences with other regions or in your cities. Especially if you had experiences coming from municipalities who start from scratch, like basically from zero or minus. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesca, for the presentation. Super interesting. It seems like you have a good plan, but there are a lot of challenges still like to be addressed. So the idea is to share this experience and also to learn from others, as you were saying. So here you can see some of the questions that we already shared with you by email, so you can start familiarizing with the case, as we also share a concept note with Francesca have just shared. So now what we would like to do is we were going to be sharing with you the Miro board, as I was saying before. So there I will stop sharing, and we will share with you the Miro link on the chat, so you can access there and we can address the questions that what Francesca was sharing with us before. I'm going to be putting the link of the Miro on the chat. So yeah, and I will give you some minutes so you can go in. And maybe Silvia, if you want to share your screen with the Miro so we can go through it together. Thank you. So here you will see, well, the case summary, what Francesca have just shared with us. And here we have, for the plenary discussion, 3 main questions that the ones that we already shared by email, as I was saying. And here the idea is that you can provide some feedback to these questions for the Selenice region to help and to also share if you are experiencing some kind of same situations and how you are dealing with that. And then in the panel number 2, a little bit at the bottom, there you can also start putting your own experiences on how you are dealing with these same issues. Also, if you want to do some questions to Francesca or any comments or suggestions. So for doing this, if it's your first time with the Miro board, you just need to pick one of the post-its, the color post-its on the side. And yeah, you can drag them, and with the double click, you can start writing there. Thank you for the demo. So what we will propose is, while we also share some soft music on the background, we will give you some minutes so you can go through the questions and also think of some questions or comments you want to make. So please use these 2 discussion charts to add your feedback. Maybe if you want, we can read out loud the questions that were raised by Francesca to see if you have any doubts. So the first question would be, what business models ensure citizen-generated data remains reliable after the groundfunding ends? That's maybe something that we all experience, right? When the projects or the funding ends, then how we deal with the data, how we can make that continuous, right? So I think that's one of the issues we at some point go through. So then the second question is, how other regions allocated budgets into enforceable but yet farm-friendly projects. This is maybe more for some agro experts we may have in the room. And the third one, it's which blended finance structures have successfully bundled solar irrigation and deep retrofit investment for small municipalities with limited resources, as well, it's the case of Selenit's region, right, Francesca? I don't know, Francesca, if you want to add some other points here to clarify a bit or to add any other comments. But if not, yeah, that's
Yeah, sure. For instance, in the first question, I am thinking if buying data, because most of the data in Albania you have to buy, which is not very sustainable. So how can we create maybe these models that citizen can input, not only in the municipality? So maybe a framework that works, even after the grant, that it doesn't mean you need many resources, financial resources, but you can input a strategy that these data are updated also from citizen, but also from the municipality. This more or less. And for the third one, blended finance structures have proven very successful, as I've seen in many other countries, but for different type of projects or different type of initiatives. So maybe inputting retrofits with solar irrigation, with trying to make the investments more whole and not only in one sector. So do you have any experiences with that, making it more sustainable this way? So this is more or less the idea of how can we blend things together so we make it more sustainable, and we do not request funding for that, money for that, but we embed them in one way.
Yeah, thank you, Francesca, for the clarifications. So maybe let's take 3 to 5 minutes to start adding your feedback here to these questions, so then we can discuss them. And also, if you want to raise your hand or put in the chat also your comments, they are much welcome. And also, if you can do at the same time, like add any questions or comments or suggestions in the second part of the Miro, you can also do it. It's up to you which of the questions you would like to add first. But yeah, feel free to add all your feedback. The idea is to have an engagement and a discussion here on how you are also leading with this kind of issues and challenges ahead, and also to address how Selenice region can move forward. Here we have a comment from Hakan Duman. You have a clear target for the 2030, for example, to reach X percentage. How did you calculate these targets? Smart, but how? Can you foresee the investment amount to reach these targets? That's a good question. I don't know, Francesca, if you want to jump.
Sure. We have made until now calculations specifically in agriculture sectors and specifically on water sector. We made projection on the water flows. Data was until 2020. So the lowering was the percentage of lowering of water resources, and then we made the percentage of water needs in terms of agriculture, and somehow saw this discrepancy in efficiency of water usage and what the needs will be in the upcoming, let's say, 5 to 10 years. This is done by experts, of course. We did not yet calculate the costs and financial projections, mainly because we still need to calculate the needs for infrastructure, and this is not easy. So in terms of water user, for instance, we are also calculating the water infrastructure needs, so that is added to the projections and to the cost calculation. So we are still doing that, but I think the percentage of, as you say, reach X percent, it's a methodology which I can give you. It's called the resource efficient and cleaner production methodology that we use. I can send you, a template or outline, no problem. You can reach to me. I can send you my email. And this is the methodology that we quite use in the business sector mostly, but this works for agriculture sector or energy sectors or many other sectors. RECP is short.
Thank you, Francesca. So yes, we would like to give you some more minutes to complete your answers or your feedback to these questions. I don't know, Paloma, maybe we can play a bit of background music while we brainstorm here. And let's say in 3 minutes, maybe we can start sharing the feedback you are adding here so we can start the discussion. Let me know if you want to take some more minutes, or maybe what we can do is you keep on adding while we start the discussion. Yeah, everybody's okay? Thumbs up. Okay. So maybe related to the first question, like what business models ensure citizens generated data that remain available after this funding ends? Anybody would like to share what like you are putting here in the Miro board? Anybody would like to take the floor and share with us your thoughts? If not, maybe I can.
I can see
Sorry,
there is
Naf.
one hand raised.
Yes, Naf. Hi, thank you. Can you maybe introduce a bit yourself so we know you better? And yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
sure.
for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for for organizing this event. So my name is Nof Afghani. I'm working at Fraunhofer EASY, and we're currently working on a project that looks at the digital and green transition of the agriculture sector in Europe. So this is very interesting to join today. I've added the notes on supporting farmers to form cooperatives and the capacity building activities for farmers, because it's good to think about it in a business way, like in a business model way, but there still has to be like support for farmers who are actually the ones who are providing this data, and they need to have ownership for this data, and they need to know how to make use of it and how to improve their production based on the data, rather than just being consumers of new digital technologies. So for that, I feel while the grant is going, there has to be like capacity building activities to improve the digital skills of farmers, and also empower them to form cooperatives where they can manage the data together and keep those data infrastructure living.
Yeah, thank you, Naf. I think yeah, that's a good point. Like not just having the database or the technology, but the capacity building on how to use it. It's key, and also how to keep on improving it and adding new features and yeah, refreshing a bit the techniques and stuff. That definitely, and the cooperative is a good point of view, huh? Like to gather together, right, to manage this kind of information and have like shared basis of data. Definitely. Somebody else would like to share your thoughts on these questions, or maybe I can read them from the Miro, but would be nicer, I guess, to hear from you, Oscar.
Yeah, I want to build on the point that Naf just raised. The aspects of the cooperative is very important to consider, because data structure and data collection, data maintenance and everything is cost intensive. And if you are thinking in a more systemic way, if we make the farmers in the future more dependent on external providers of technology or data, where they have to purchase the data to make a proper use of the technology, then we are making more vulnerable, no, in the future. We think in a long-term perspective, in a more systemic perspective. So it is important first to build this capacity. And second, also the harnessing the cooperative. I think you mentioned the revolving fund in part of your presentation. It's also a good strategy. Like normally these farmers, they have limited purchasing capacity, and that would be a way to maybe increase their capacity to access to these technologies and in the future to sustain the smart irrigation. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that.
Thank you, Oscar. Here, I'm also seeing a comment from Nancy on the chat that this target is also evident in the development local plans and national documents, which are always in consideration from the team in Albania. So thank you, Nancy. So this is maybe a cross-cutting issue, like it's a multi-level governance maybe challenge, right? It's also happening at the national level, and would be a good idea to coordinate at that point as well, right? So I see some other comments. I don't know if the ones that provided this feedback would like to share a bit out loud. For instance, this training farmers plus harnessing farmers plus cooperatives revolving plus revolving funds, sorry. Also, we have capacity building activities for farmers to improve their data skills. I think that we already mentioned. And here we have two comments in orange. I don't know if the ones that wrote them would like to comment on this. If not, I can read it. But it says
Marianne, it's me that I have added the comments. It's Nancy.
Nancy, hi.
Yeah, hi, how are you? So the idea is that so far with the experience of working more than 10 years in public entities in Albania, it is like a crucial point that while you think of business development and engaging citizen and data, to have a sustainable data hub, if we can call it like this, or to have a good approach of developing the proper project and then, let's say, giving this authority rights to the municipalities or entities or whatever in the public sector. So they will have a full information of what is gathered, because in Albania it happens that always there is an overlap, and this is really a crucial point, and also it's really difficult for all the municipality to work, all the NGOs like Francesca to work, you know, and to deal with the people. So what is really important is that to think of a business development like a good, let's say, a good knowledge sharing, or a good engagement, because this lack of not having the proper connection between the public and the private sector has or developed this gap always in Albania. So this is more or less, I have summarized both of them, the two orange, let's say, suggestion that I have. And yeah, as I said, it is really important, and this is the challenge point that Francesca and the municipality of Selenis has, that the private and the public sector are not always, you know, in good collaboration. And this project is helping a lot in this approach. Yeah. That's it.
Great, thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. So yeah, Francesca, here you have some suggestions and good ideas. And maybe now let's move into the second question. If you agree, or I don't know if anybody would like to add something else related to the business models. But if not, just on sake of time, maybe we can move ahead with this question on how have other regions allocated budgets into farmer-friendly projects. Here we have some comments. I don't know if anybody would like to share your thoughts on this idea of doing demo or pilot cases, working with early adopters or pioneers. Also, we have here the UK has huge citizen science data pool with butterflies and birds that could be useful to look at them as a case study inspiration. Maybe, I don't know who wrote it, but maybe if you can share the link, so then the Selenit region can take a look. And here we have another comment saying that, yeah, because of the limited budget, you apply for EU calls to demonstrate agriculture pilots. Yes, I think that's what you were saying before, Francesca, right? That you need definitely to rely on EU funds to do this, given the short resources you have at the regional level. Wondering here if there is any kind of coordination with the national level on how to allocate some of the national budget for farm-friendly projects. There are any conversations around that with the national government, or it's something that you have to try to figure out on your own, like with the municipalities and just at the regional level, there is no coordination. I'm a bit curious about that, how you're dealing with that.
The Ministry of Agriculture here is opening calls or open funds, but it's directed to farmers and business wise, let's say. In terms of investments, it's very sporadic. It's not a very good strategy in place or where to, let's say, support the needs in agriculture sector. That is why, and I think that this has to come from municipalities, and municipalities most of the time don't know very good their territory and the needs because of the lack of their capacities. So as you see, it's not only the lack of coordination between them, but the lack of capacity within the municipalities to understand the needs of this sector, because you have to have experts that can tell you, you need, I don't know, 2,000 hectares of irrigation system in place because efficiency is 30%, if you know what I mean. So even the municipalities do not know what to request in terms of investment in this sector. So most of the open calls are based on business who needs funds to just support their or growth of their business.
Yeah, I see. We have two people, Oscar and then Hakan.
Maybe Hakan can go first.
Okay. Hakan, do you like to share?
Thank you very much. I think you can hear me now.
Yeah.
In Turkey, we have also the same. We have also some calls, national calls, but as Francesca said, the municipality, they do not have the expertise especially for the innovative projects, and the farmers, they are really difficult to contact, and it is difficult to change their behaviors. So in the municipality, we decided to work with the startups, agriculture startups, and to understand their innovation. But because of lack of finance, we try to apply to the EU calls to get finance, and we want to pilot these innovative projects in our region, and we want to promote the pilots to the farmers, so they can come and visit our facilities and our farms, and they can see the innovation. So it will be a long process, as I said, but we know that we need to implement, especially regarding irrigation, for example, implement innovation. So this is how we are dealing with it. But it's a long way because of the especially behavior barriers of the farmers.
Yeah, thank you, Hakan. I don't know, Francesca, if you wanna react to this or
It's the same, I think, same
okay.
problems.
Yeah, Oscar.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think maybe I can reflect a bit from the IPG yesterday in land use and food systems that is not smart irrigation, but it is also an innovative technology, it's biochar. And this was the Donegal case study in Ireland, and they share with us their experience. So how they are approaching the replication and escalation of this technology, the biochar technology, is through demo cases with early adopters. So they have limited budget, and sometimes it depends also on the context, but in the context of Donegal, some farmers were very reluctant to adopt the technology. So they used those farmers that were more motivated and more convinced about the technology, and they were willing to use it to put demo farms, demonstration farms. And once they started to have successful outcomes in the crop yields and in the soil quality, etc., the other farmers start following. So I don't know what is the specific case of Salenica, but that could be one of the suggested approach also from the IPGs. I don't know if the IPGs will be shared later on the recordings, but if not, then would be interesting that you can contact Donegal.
Yeah,
person.
maybe that's a great idea. Maybe what we can do is to share with Francesca this particular case study and how
Yes,
these like
please.
front runner farmers are taking the lead, and it seems like they are having a kind of impact on the others that are more reluctant. So maybe that's something you can also replicate in Selenica.
Yes, and we can make it together with the youth, hubs that we intended to do, and bring some solutions, make it like a hackathon, and they can bring ideas to Selenica, make it running somehow with the problem that Selenica has now. What would be the most feasible solution, but coming from a youth or other counterparts from other cities? That would be like nice demo day.
Great. Yeah, well, that's the idea of the IPGs and Pathways to Resilience as the project, right? To share these experiences. So then, Francesca, we will be sharing with you this particular case study and put you in contact. So maybe you can also add some, have some questions to the region. So thank you for that. I think we covered this question, and what I'm seeing that we don't have any feedback related to this blended finance question, like the blended finance structure. Maybe it's a bit more challenging. Maybe here we need some experts on blended finance to reply. So maybe what we can do, Francesca, is then check with some of our partners which are more familiarized with this and try to give you some thoughts on this. But yeah,
or
maybe
this can be for another community of practice when we start doing, the financing parts of the project.
Exactly. Definitely. So yeah, maybe what we can do is now move to the comments and questions that I see there are many already in the peer learning discussion. Thank you for the zooming because if not, it would be a bit difficult to read. So anybody that would like to take the floor to share here the questions and comments you have done for the Selenese region. If not, I can read them up, but I think it's great. It's better if the ones that wrote here the comments take the floor and share yourselves? Any volunteer? Okay, maybe I can read the comments. Let's I see Oscar okay. Okay, so let's see the first one. It says increasing water efficiency and introducing solar pumps are great and can cut costs, but you need to watch out for the rebound effect, where increased efficiency ends up leading to more water abstractions overall, which could be a problem if there is seasonal water scarcity. Okay, I don't know. Enough. You were the one.
don't know about this. So I'm not sure, like, because it was mentioned in Francesca's presentation that there is a problem with seasonal water scarcity. I'm not sure how scarce water is there, but yeah, like coming from Jordan, I know that this usually happens. So when you increase water efficiency, the farmers could increase their land and like increase their agriculture production, and in that way it is a rebound effect. So it doesn't really end up saving water, it ends up using more water, because now it's more affordable for them to have access to more water. So just something to have in mind when when considering to do these kind of activities.
Yeah, it's very interesting indeed. We saw, at least in the water flow, river water flow, it was a reduction of 20 to 25% coming up. So most of agriculture areas are watered through rivers or through reservoirs. So both of these, let's say, water resources are decreasing. But yes, thank you. That is very, very interesting and to take into consideration.
Thank you, Naf, for your contributions. So let's move to the next question. It's related to governance. And it says, did you already consider who will analyze this data in your region? And how will insights be fed back to farmers and policymakers to inform decisions, not just on irrigation, but potentially on broader climate adaptation strategies like agricultural policies or climate policies? Yeah, I think it was Oscar, right? So yeah, this is I don't know, Francesca, if you wanna comment a bit on the governance strategy you are envisioning.
Yeah, I mentioned it a bit earlier that this is the hardship that we are having, that the municipality doesn't have the right capacity to also understand how this data comes from and how it's manipulated or made projections, etc. So it's a process in themselves to try and to explain to them the importance of gathering this data, and then understanding them and how to put them into practice. So it's the whole process that we are doing in collaboration with the municipality. It's not easy, but it's going there. And second, yes, within the project, we have anticipated lots of let's say, meetings with policymakers within the municipality, but also getting this information in more central public authorities. But of course, this would need the project to end, to have the right kind of data and and to know what we would be requesting from, let's say, central government and what the local government should do with this part.
Thank you, Francesca. If I may add, what about universities at Selenice to manage data? Like, are you kind of
Selenice doesn't have universities, but we collaborate with universities in Tirana. Vlora has, which is the city, major city near Selenice, but not in this sector. So we collaborate with universities in Tirana, of course, who has this type of. And we have a very good university, the Agricultural University of Tirana, who has done many experimental works, and they are a very close partner of us. And also our experts are actually, giving lectures to universities, so they are very linked to the university themselves. But yes,
Great.
university, authorities linked to agriculture, municipality, and hopefully at the end trying to get the right message to the right central government institutions.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I think it's interesting to also involve academia here, definitely. And yeah, I mean, if you don't have like local resources, yeah, reaching out to at least the ones that are available, but within the country, definitely. So here we have another question. It says, beyond the technical, what are the social and cultural factors in Srebrenica that might influence the adoption and effective use of smart irrigation?
Socioeconomic factors are the most impacting factors in this project, meaning that in terms of social aspects, the age gap is a bit high, so you don't have many youth who is more prone to, adopt new technologies or adopt new ways. In terms of economy, municipality of Srebrenica is quite, it's poor, let's say, somehow. It's not that it has many resource financially. So socioeconomical factors are very hard to do. And in terms of cultural factors as well, due to the socioeconomic factor, also the cultural factors are somehow, linked to it. So in terms of question, yes, but they do impact the effective use of these new, let's say, ways or new technologies or new smart agriculture use. But one of our main part of the project is to work with them, discuss with them, sit with them, to understand, to make them understand. So talk with them and to make them understand that yes, this need that you have a problem, that you don't have water, that you have problems with addressing all your arable land and getting water to eat. This can be solved through this. So this is a whole process that you need to sit with them, explain to them, and especially the benefits that this solution will bring. It's a lot of work, but this has to be done sooner or later. It's not that innovation is waiting for you to keep up. It will just hit you someday in the face. And it's our, let's say, problem or work to do the good, smooth transition to it.
Yeah, thank you, Francesca. Yeah, it's challenging. All the cultural factors are something that we also need to take into account, not just, go over the technical stuff and financial stuff. It's also this cultural change that we need to happen, right? So we have one more question here. How will access to these systems be made equitable or sustainable, especially for smaller holders or farmers who often have less purchasing capacity?
This is a very political question for me, because it's their duty to make this as equitable and as sustainable as possible. For us, it's only the job to direct them in the right solutions and to tell them this is the way to do for all of them. But let's not forget this is a project mainly directed to the local authority. We are merely the technical support part, and the municipality has the political will and power to do this in more equitable and sustainable manner. We just support them and guide them in the best way and best solution possible within the capacity and limits of a region such as, or a municipality such as Srebrenica.
Thank you, Francesca. I don't know if anybody in the room would like to share their own experiences with this kind of issues, any like similar situations you have been through that would like to maybe give a kind of advice or suggestions for these challenges. Please, yeah, the floor is yours. Or any comments maybe on what Francesca was sharing that was super interesting, and also a lot of things that need to be done. Any reflections or comments that you would like to share?
Marianne, can I add something?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. So related with the question that Oscar, I think, has wrote in the mural for the governments, I want to emphasize that in Albania, this climate adaptation is, let's say, is working in national level. And due to that, for example, it is UNDP that is taking care of the adaptation plans in Albania, meaning all the regions and all the cities. Due to this national adaptation plan of Albania, there are specific ambassadors, let's say, in the ministry and in the municipalities that are targeted, and will work with this understanding the data, processing the data, also working with the farmers or who is interested in such information. So due to this process, all the ambassadors in the municipalities, in the regions, in the ministries are following an intensive training process. So this is more or less how in Albania is working. And due to that, after, they are also gathering all the initiatives that are going around for such topic, adaptation measurements and adaptations, climate adaptations and mitigations issues. So due to that, now, even due to the responsibility of this national adaptation plan, all the municipalities need to gather data to inform the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, and also to collect and to train let's say, the local farmers or the local entities that are linked with this topic. This is more or less how in Albania is going the process. Just to emphasize it and how it works in Albania.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, that's quite interesting. That's why I was saying that it's super important, like, to do this multi-level governance connections, right? I don't know if you know each other, Francesca and Nancy, from before, but given
yes,
that,
of course, absolutely.
yeah, so maybe it's a matter of coordinating, right, on these efforts.
Absolutely. As I told you, we will first finish up with what we are doing with Selenix and then get the right message to the right central. But we need still to finish up what we've started, have the right data, have a good strategy, have a good pool of knowledge in this data, and then get the needs of the municipality based on this data to the national stakeholders.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Francesca and Nancy. Super interesting insights we have had today. I'm not seeing any other questions. I don't know if anybody would like to take the floor to share any final comments or reflections on what Francesca shared with us today. Nope.
All clear.
All
Oscar.
clear.
Yeah, maybe if I can jump in. It's not a comment or final reflection, it's just an invitation. So in P2R, we are updating a catalog of adaptation measures. And I think would be like, it's of course, if you want, I think this case study is very interesting and we would like to showcase it in the catalog. So if we can follow up with you, would be great. But it's just voluntary. So if you want.
Please do. And we are happy to share everything beside the project, even if it's not from the project. This needs to be shared and this needs to be discussed among us. So I'm very happy to collaborate in anything that you need.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so. Thank you. I will follow up later.
Thank you, Oscar. That's great. So now that we are kind of wrapping up with the case study particularly, I would like to ask you all in the Miro, you will see at the bottom a question that says, what topics would you like to explore further? It could be related to the Selenites case particularly, or something that you would like to discuss in the next IPG week, related maybe to the topics we discussed today, or something else that you are thinking of that's necessary to be addressed. So we will give you 1-2 minutes, if that's okay with you. So you can maybe think about these ideas, these topics or issues you have at your region or on your organizations that you would like to discuss in the next knowledge and data IPG. As we did before, you pick a post-it and you put there your ideas so we can take them into consideration. So yeah, I will give you one minute to do this. And also, yeah, Paloma here is reminding me we have 2 more IPG sessions that, yeah, we will share with you the details at the end of the presentation. But I can already advance. Tomorrow we have ecosystems and nature-based solutions at the morning. It's at 10 European time as today. And then during the afternoon, we will have another IPG session on governance, engagement, and collaboration. So we hope you join us already in this IPGs week that are ending tomorrow. So let's see, do we have any ideas already? No. Okay. I will give you 1 more minute. We also be sharing in a minute a quick Zoom survey so we can assess what you think about this IPG's interaction. But yeah, that's coming. Let's see what we have. Innovative finance methods, for example. Wait, I will give you more time, sorry.
Mariana, if you want,
Yes.
I can also say it.
Yeah.
It will be great to have, for example, innovative finance methods. We have all the standard ones. For example, for the irrigation, to rent the irrigation system, for example, it can be something new. So there can be irrigation technology hubs, and because the farmers, they won't use, they do not know the technology, and it is difficult for them to use. Perhaps it is possible to rent such systems for the period. So these technology hubs can generate turnover, and also the farmers, they do not need to invest a lot of money. And so, for example, this is just something new. Perhaps in the future we can discuss this new kind of funding methods, for example, crowdfunding, or the population can invest for it, and so on, instead of standard finance methods. So, for example.
Thank you, Hakan. So would be financing the capacity building of the farmers so they can learn on how to use this new technology to be
For
applied.
example, for example,
No,
this should be something innovative.
okay. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I think
Mm.
maybe that's something that also is needed at the Selenites region or some others, right, around Europe. So that's a good point. Maybe it's something we can check for the next IPG, like what's the state of the art, at least on this, and who's leading or have any kind of innovative ways to address this issue that you are raising. So thank you for that. Then here we have another comment. It would be interesting to have a risk perspective or aspect for the data part, which may also reflect in knowledge. Risk perspective or aspect for the data part. Okay, like risk assessment, something like that. I know who posted this, but
I posted it.
Yeah, Michaela.
So I'm not from a region, so it's not a regional perspective that I'm adding, but more from another project, so the Klimax project, where I think there could also be interesting connections. But this is just a suggestion, of course.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, I also see here AI solutions. I'm a big fan of AI, so that will be also interesting, right? Like how we can also introduce AI at the local and municipality level. So yeah, we will have these suggestions into consideration for the next IPG week. And now, of course, the Miro board gonna continue open. So in case you would like to give us further feedback or add, any questions, ideas, links also to some, founding or experiences or best practices or whatever you want to share with Francesca, but with all the ones involved here, that will be much welcome. We will share with you the Miro board link afterwards. So Paloma, let me know when we are ready to share maybe we are ready. So yeah, if you can see in the screen now, this IPG feedback form is a quick survey, so we can assess how did you found this session. So yeah, take the time to answer this question if you can. Thank you for that. How satisfied were you with the session? And you can pick your it's a multiple choice. And then there are some others coming, 2, 3, yeah. I think we are done, right? I don't see it anymore. Oops, sorry.
I think it would be great if someone else could keep going with feedback for it, just because we have only very few reply. But in the meantime, Mariana, I think we can close the session with the last few slides.
Okay, thank you, Silvia. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you what I was saying before, that tomorrow we have 2 more sessions, one on ecosystems and nature-based solutions and at 10 a.m. And then the last one for this IPGs week on governance and engagement and collaboration. So you can find in the Pathways to Resilience website also these registrations links, so you can participate. And yeah, we want to thank you once again for being here, for engaging, and particularly to you, Francesca, for sharing all your knowledge and sharing with us all your challenges, needs, concerns, and being open to also receive all the interesting feedback and questions for the participants today. So yeah, we really thank you all for attending and engaging with us. And I don't know, Silvia, if you want to share the survey results, or that's something we will do later.
No, I think we're going to do this later. We're going to keep this internal. Thanks.
Great. So I think it's still running. Great.
Yes, we can stay here for a couple of minutes, but we'll disclose the recording now for everyone else. But we look forward to seeing you tomorrow in the last 2 sessions that we have, which are with Malaga in the morning, and then in the afternoon is Ile-de-France. So interesting case studies coming along. Just join us then. And have a lovely day, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.